Earlier today, I got a message from one of my students requesting feedback on one of his songs. His message read, "Hey Alex, I'm looking for your feedback on my latest assignment song. I love the melody, but I feel like it's missing that pro sound. Any feedback would be appreciated." So I went ahead and gave the song a listen. This is what I heard. And then I got the idea, what if we take this song, which is a song made by one of my most beginner level students, and I'll see if I could fix it up to sound professional so that my student's song can have that much desired pro sound. Let's play it back so we can get started. First thing I hear is that powerless melody. These notes are honestly pretty good. I think they would make a great melody if the sound was right. So I'm going to load up Xverse Serum and create a stronger sound. I'm going to initialize the preset. Go to Oscillator A, choose a saw wave, turn on the filter, tighten it a bit, and then we're going to control this filter with envelope 2, and now we have a nice pretty electro pluck. This is a much more modern sound that's easier to pull off. The original sound is called a super saw. Super saws are a bit generic. You could still use super saws, but they're very tough to use if you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to add some delay to our electro pluck. This will help fill in these long gaps between notes. Delay is just echo. And then what we'll do is we'll add reverb to create a space. Now I'm going to add a free plugin called OTT to the sound. This is going to increase the presence of the reverb and delay in these gaps here. Now we have a more consistent energy versus the original lead. Here's the original. Now back to mine. Now the pros like making unique sounding songs. Our lead sound here, although modern, is still a very widely used sound. We can add uniqueness to it by layering it with a slightly different sound to get a whole new sound. Here's my layer. This is a very pretty synth sound I found in Nexus. It has a good guitar attack and presence within these gaps. And because my student likes super saws so much, I took his original super saw and added it to the stack as well. Now let's listen to the stack. Isn't that wonderful? There is so much energy there that you can't mess this up. All right, let's see what we got. A lot of work to do. The next thing I hear is a poor melody and chord relationship. When you get your melody right, you have to get the chords right because the chords will govern what you have to do with your bass. These chords they're just flat. There's no life here, they're basic. When I play them with the melody, they don't bring the melody to life. The chords should supercharge the melody, and these don't do it for a couple of reasons. The first is that all the notes are too low on the piano roll, so the notes sound very scrunched up and kind of muddy. I'm going to revoice these chords by taking the middle note of each chord and just spreading them out. So I'm going to move them up an octave. These chords are still technically kind of basic because they consist of a root, third, and fifth. I'm going to add a note to each chord to make them sound less basic. This is called a pedal tone, or in other words, it's just a note that doesn't change with each chord. The other issue with these chords is that the sound is very stiff. It's just a hard sound. It doesn't change, it doesn't move. If you listen to any professional song, the sounds are always moving. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of dynamics to this sound by reducing the sustain and increasing the decay. This will make the sound more like a piano. Those dynamics will be much more satisfying. Now listen to the melody with its new set of chords. The dynamics of these chords push that melody out so much more. I love it. Next thing we have to fix is this poorly made bass line. It's a sound I can't really hear, it doesn't follow the chords right, and it does not supplement this melody at all. Most of the time when you make a bass line, you're either going to use the bottom note of your chords, or you're going to have a bass line that focuses on the tonic of the key signature that you're in. In this case, it's a melodic song, so we're going to use the bottom note of the chords. We're going to go to this bass sound, get rid of these. Not sure what he was doing there. And we're going to place the bass notes. When making a bass line, you should have an EQ open at all time, and you should be looking for an octave that gives you the strongest frequencies between 40 and 80 hertz. Those are the frequencies that will sound the best on all speaker systems. The other issue with this bass line is the sound. When I play it with the melody, it's foundationally good, but it could be better. This particular student takes a liking to John Summit's style of music and desires to make music like that. That music is very trancey and melodic housey, so I want to pick a bass line that complements that genre. Let's make a sound more suitable for that genre. We're going to initialize the preset, keep everything as is, turn on the filter, close it up, and then take envelope 2 and make the same sound I use for everything, which is this pluck. I'm going to shorten it up, warm it up, and then I'm going to go to this MIDI effects here and add an arpeggiator at a rate of 1/8, which means 8 triggers per 1 bar. Then we get this sound. It's a big sound. But I'm going to do one more thing to this bass line that'll be like a pro tip for you. If we look at our melody, the notes are very spread out with these big gaps in between each section of notes. You can use this blank space to communicate other instruments in between it. So when the melody takes a break in between notes, we can go to the bass line and add some passing notes. So now we have this bass line that melodically communicates with that lead melody. Isn't that kind of cool? Next major problem we have is these drums. We have a hip-hop kick, and we're trying to make a house song. When you're an expert, you can break the rules and use whatever sounds you want to do whatever you want. But if you're less experienced, it's really hard to pull that off. And you should use drum samples more suitable for your genre. That will only help you. This hip-hop kick is very small. It won't fill up speakers like a house kick will. If we look at this house kick I have here, it's much longer, and compared to this hip-hop kick, if we play them back to back, this one is so much bigger. We're going to use this house kick. I like his little hi-hat loop he has here. But it is missing the main ingredient, which in my opinion is the main hi-hat that plays in between each kick. I think that's the second most important drum in house music. So with all our drums now, get a pretty strong sound. So now we have, with everything, our pro sound. That's beautiful. If we compare it to the original, this new version will sound much better on speakers, and I'm excited to show my student. And that is a video for you. If you would like me to coach you so that you could achieve the music production skill of your dreams, I have a link to apply for my coaching program below this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video lesson.